YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins could be a dynamic duo in 2020 and into the future. Like you have your Julio Joneses and Matt Ryans, your Michael Thomas and Drew Brees. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Redskins. And let's get straight into today's video. So, how Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins could be a dynamic duo. I mean, I gave you already three good, dynamic duos. I would say that our dynamic duos is your Drew Brees, is your Michael Thomas, your Julio Jones, and a healthy, good Matt Ryan. And then you have your Devontae Parkers and Aaron Rodgers. How Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin could become that is being more in sync with each other. And when I say this, I'm talking more specifically into Dwayne Haskins, because, I mean, although we know they have the chemistry with each other because they went to college with each other, obviously, and they got drafted to the same team, and they already have somewhat of a partial year under their belt working together. Only reason why I say partial is because we know Dwayne Haskins didn't get to play in all 16 games with Terry McLaurin, and even when he did, the early part of their connection was a little off. As you can see towards the end of the season, it got a little bit better, but still needed a lot to be improved on. So when I say be more in sync with each other, I'm leaning more towards Dwayne Haskins when I'm talking to them. Because Dwayne, we know Terry McLaurin's going to go out there and do his thing, but we know that at least Dwayne overthrew Terry McLaurin, and they weren't in sync. At least I want to say 5 touchdowns that could have been had, and those are over the course of each games. So I'm not saying 5 and 1, probably 2 in each game. Possibly. That's what I'm talking about as far as not being in sync with each other. Because I can remember, I think it was the Lions game. I'm not sure. I think it was the Lions game. It was some game where I know we could have won. I think it was either the Lions or Green Bay game, actually, where I knew we had a chance to win, but Dwayne Haskins was just overthrowing Terry McLaurin on multiple occasions. So what I mean by being more in sync is, get the route patterns down, work over the route tree, and obviously we know Dwayne Haskins' arm is a beauty, man. He could sling that thing, but just take a little bit off of it, and it's going to be a dime every time. And I feel as though with them working out in the summer and the off-season workouts that are not mandatory, I feel as though that's just a plus. I mean, obviously they're supposed to be working out, but just our wide receiving core working out together, it just shows you how determined they are to be great. And I feel as though that this team could be a dynamic duo as far as Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin goes. But number one, they have to be in sync. Number two, Dwayne Haskins obviously has to get the protection that he needs. And I know that's not on Terry McLaurin's part, but I'm just saying the dynamic duo is going to come into effect, although it's the the quarterback and the receiver both getting the main credit, but everyone on the field on offense has to play their role, whether that's blocking on run plays, blocking Dwayne Haskins so he can get the ball to Terry McLaurin, whatever it is, the blocking has to be A1, at least solid on some plays, so Dwayne Haskins could give Terry McLaurin the ball. Because, I mean, quite frankly, we know what Terry McLaurin is going to do this year. We already have our expectations for him. He's the only player on this team, other than I probably would say Steve Sims, Matt Ioannidis, that we know that we expect to go off this year. Other than that, probably Matt Ioannidis, Terry McLaurin, Steve Sims, and John Allen are probably the 4 only players, and Kendall Fuller, I guess you can throw in there, are probably the only players that we are expecting to go off this season or live up to expectations. I rather would say that. So with that being said, blocking has to be A1. You have to be in sync with each other, and you can't, get into fights. You know what I mean? We've seen cases where let's just throw Jalen Ramsey in there with the coach. I know this is 2 different positions, but I'm just saying you've seen cases where they disagreed and they got into an argument. I'll give you one better with Dez Bryant. You know how he used to throw his fits on the sideline when he didn't get the ball or when it was a bad ball. Don't become like that. And then Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins don't even seem the type of people that would do something like that or get into argument or 2 about a ball. I mean, it was times last year where Terry McLaurin got overthrown on a great route that could possibly have led to a touchdown It was multiple plays where you can see that Terry McLaurin was a little frustrated, but not once did he go over to Dwayne Haskins and yell at him about it. Well, why didn't you give me a good ball? But you know how people are. You know how wide receivers and quarterbacks can get, especially Dez Bryant back in, I want to say, his glory days. So with that being said, Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins don't seem like that type of duo that would do something like that. Look at the Michael Thomas and the Devontae Adams, because I rarely see them go to, Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. But then you can make the case of point that those guys are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So, they rarely make mistakes. But I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I rarely see Michael Thomas and Drew Brees get into it. I'm not saying it never happened or it never will happen, but I never seen Drew Brees and Michael Thomas get into it. And I can already see the comment section now where they're going to get into it now because of what Drew Brees said. I'm talking strictly football. So I never seen Michael Thomas and Drew Brees get into it personally, me watching them. But I'm not saying it didn't happen. You can also say the same for Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Now, another case in point what I mean by don't get into a fight with your quarterback is obviously, I have another example, is Kirk Cousins and Stephon Diggs. You know how last year Stephon Diggs was like mad that he wasn't getting the ball, and this wasn't even just a 2019 problem. This was 2018 too. Because 2017 when they had Case Keenum, I'm not gonna say Stephon Diggs was the #1 receiver, but he kind of was, because I think Adam Thielen did he go down. I think he got hurt that year. I could be mistaken, but I think he did get hurt that year. So Stephon Diggs did get the ball a lot more often than he did in 2018, 2019 when Kirk Cousins took over the helm. So with that being said, don't have that relationship where you're beefing with your quarterback per se, because then that's just going to make them not look your way even more. I know Stephon Diggs somewhat got his way when after he went up to Kirk Cousins, they had a little dispute back and forth. He did start to get the ball more often, but that's just not that's not a good reputation to set to get your way. You're supposed to get your way by letting your quarterback do what he gotta do. You gotta already have that mindset, and it seems like Terry McLaurin has that mindset to where he knows he's not gonna get the ball on every single play of the game. So Terry McLaurin doesn't seem like that type of guy. He doesn't. He seems calm. He seems laid back. He rarely posts on social media. He just seems like a laid back person. He's like a me in person. I'm just a laid back person in person. I talk a lot over the internet, obviously, because this is what I want to do and the job, obviously. But in person, I'm a laid back dude. I'll speak and stuff like that, obviously. But I'm not really an outgoing person, and that's the type of persona that I'm perceiving from Terry McLaurin. And then you can even say Dwayne Haskins in there. I know Dwayne Haskins posts on social media a lot, but he has that even during the interviews you can see he's not a loud spoken type of person. Although he did show clips of him when he had that little argument, people like to say, with the offensive line. But other than that, Dwayne Haskins is really a laid back person also. So back to on topic, how they can become a dynamic duo. One, like I said, get in sync with each other, and that's what they've been doing this whole offseason. Kevin Harmon and Dwayne Haskins have been throwing since February. Terry McLaurin joined them like a month ago. Then Steven Sims just joined them like 2 weeks ago. So they're getting in sync. So Dwayne Haskins, Terry McLaurin should be really good this upcoming season as far as the chemistry goes. This is like they've been playing with each other all through college. Then they already have 1 year professional experience. There should be no reason why Dwayne Haskins is overthrowing Terry McLaurin. Because like I keep saying, we know Terry McLaurin is going to go out there and do his thing. We know how good Terry McLaurin is going to be. But it's just up to Dwayne Haskins, and it's up to that offensive line to protect Big Dwayne. So with that being said, the last thing I want to talk about here before we get out of here is that Terry McLaurin was rated the second highest rookie receiver in the decade. Second highest rookie receiver in the decade yesterday. I forgot what the list looks like. I can't remember everyone that was on that list, but he was number 2. He was number 2. And that's for all the people that was saying, how Terry McLaurin isn't better than A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, DK Metcalf, all the rookie receivers last year. It's crazy how he's not better than none of those guys, but he's second-rated rookie of the decade. The second-rated rookie of the decade. And I know you can say, well, that's PFF, Pro Football Focus. That's a personal preference. But, stats don't lie. Stats don't lie. And I still don't understand how Terry McLaurin had a better season than all those guys, probably other than A.J. Brown, you could possibly say. But other than that, A.J. Brown, I'll even include him in my opinion. A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Hollywood Brown, all the rookie receivers. It's crazy how he had as good of a season, or even possibly better season than most of those guys, and he's still not talked about as much as the DK Metcalfs and the AJ Browns and the Hollywood Browns of the world. I mean, I guess you can say, well, look at their quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill just got paid. I mean, Lamar Jackson just won MVP. And DK Metcalf obviously has an MVP candidate in Russell Wilson every single year. So, I mean, I guess you could say quarterback plays a factor, but not this year. I guarantee you, I say this with everything in me, I guarantee you Terry McLaurin will have a better season than all of those guys. And I feel as though that Dwayne Haskins will have a way better season. I'm shooting for the stars. You can call me crazy. I say, every time I say this, I say check back with me in 9 months when it happens. Dwayne Haskins will win MVP this year. Call me crazy now, but check back with me in 9 months. Dwayne Haskins, or even Terry McLaurin rather, didn't even play all 16 games. He had insufficient, I want to say, quarterback play. 3 quarterbacks in 1 year as a rookie receiver. I'm just throwing that out there because all the people are going to be like, oh, Hollywood Brown was hurt, had a screw in his foot. Yeah, that is true. And he did still ball out. But Terry McLaurin had 3 quarterbacks that were horrible last year. So just imagine with him having a good quarterback next year, what he's going to be able to do. As always, been boy Gotti, like, comment, subscribe, held to the Redskins, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL. In this case, I'll watch the Redskins. Once again, how can Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin become a dynamic duo in the NFL in 2020 and so on? I gave you my opinion on this topic. Now the floor is yours. Held to the Redskins. Like, comment, subscribe. Held to the Redskins. Turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL or the Washington Redskins. I'm out. Peace.